This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there, live.
Wrestling fans, hello Friday. Welcome to another coronavirus-inspired Flashback Friday. Hope all is as well as can be expected wherever you may be right now. It is Friday, May the 15th, 2020. We're hoping that 6 months from this very weekend, we'll be back live at our home Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts for MWF Project X Back to the 80s, a live wrestling event and fan fest. It was rescheduled from last month for obvious reasons, but there's still a lot of unknown in the world. You have no idea how much we're looking forward to being with you live and in person. It's been an extremely stressful time for us behind the scenes. Knock on wood, positive thinking, we're all going to be together this November. My partner in crime, Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, has been itching to return to the studio. Governor Charlie Baker has prohibited it. Little does Charlie know, Tony and I have some big plans next week. In the meantime, we've been producing podcast-style episodes of our Wrestling Insiders program, including 3 brand new episodes this week alone. Check them out on our Facebook and YouTube channel for your listening enjoyment. Each Friday since the virus hit, we've been digging into the Boston Wrestling Sports Studio Shoot Interview Library to bring you stories from some of wrestling's greatest legends, and this week came across another good one in a very rare interview. The legendary Kamala joined me for a 3-hour DVD taping, and in this segment, he unloads on Abdullah the Butcher, keeping him and other black wrestlers out of Japan. If you like this segment, stream the entire interview and dozens more on our Patreon channel.
Let me ask you this. A man by the name of Ben Peacock took on the gimmick of Kamala too, similar to what happened with Stan Frazier. What did you think of that? Did he ask you ahead of time if he could take the gimmick on? Or?
No, he didn't ask me, but we worked together in the Texas territory as Kamala and the Botswana Beast. But he would paint himself up the same as me. And I got a little hot with him about doing that, but it was okay. I told him, I said, go ahead and make you $1 million with it if you can. But I'm gonna tell you who changed the name to Kamala 2. This big fat funk ass Abdullah the Butcher. I don't care a lot about Abdullah the Butcher because he had kept blacks out of Japan for years, and he still do. Now he done had his run with his old big fat funky ass, and I tell him that to his face. I just get along with him when we own shows because they are not my shows, and you know, I don't want a bad rep toward promoters, you know, and I want to go, when I go out of this business, I want to go out with a good name and not a name where I done kept other people from making a living. And Abdullah the Butcher is the one that gave Ben Peacock the name of Kamala 2, took him to Japan and you know, and used him because he didn't make a lot of money in Japan. I know exactly what he made. I mean, Ben Peacock didn't, because Abdullah the Butcher, when he takes people to Japan, he takes their money. He takes a certain percentage of their money, about 15% of their money, I think.
For getting them booked?
Yeah, for getting them booked. Yeah, and now I don't like Abdullah for that. He done asked me about coming down to his restaurant, but I don't want none of his funk ass ribs. Hell, I can buy me some damn ribs from somewhere else. But Abdullah ain't did nothing all his life but just fucked up the blacks and keep them from coming into Japan. Now he'll take whites there too, but they gonna be under him, but he don't have no control under those guys. And that's the way it was. This is what I know for a fact.
Now how did you find out that Abdullah was keeping blacks out of Japan?
Because in 1980, when I went to Germany, this English promoter had asked me about coming to England. And the Japanese, Barber was there in Germany. And Barber had some of his guys to ask me about coming to Japan. I was booked in Japan. We had made our deal in 1980 for $1,500 a week in 1980. And they had gave my date and everything. Then some of the Japanese boys came to me and told me, said, and they wasn't lying, they said, Abdullah Butcher, you don't go Japan. And they told me the whole story about how Abdullah been keeping blacks out of Japan. And I hadn't been in the business but 2 years in. And I was talking to a lot of different guys after I got back to the States, and they told me, so, oh yeah, so you'll learn a lot about Abdullah. So he been fucking people for years.
Why do you think that he would do that?
He want to be the only black over there. Excuse me. I have, but I went to Japan though. But he want to be the only black in Japan, and that way that'll give him more power, or more recognition, or however you might put it. And he was over there in Japan. Yeah, so he used to tell Kamala too when he took him to Japan. He had full control over him. He tell him what to eat, what not to eat. He had Ben Peacock getting up, going to stores in the middle of the night, bringing them food back. But see, he knew he couldn't do me that way.
Right.
Yeah, and so he told Ben Peacock, said, look, sir, we don't want to bring this black guy in and that black. We want to be the only two blacks in Japan. Yeah, he told him that. I mean, Ben Peacock told me this. And he wasn't lying.
So he probably cost you. It could have been a pretty good spot over there.
Yeah, when I went to Japan, the first time I went to Japan, they asked me about coming into Japan. Abdullah was fired out from over there because they told him to cut down on his juice, and he kept it up. So they fired him. And when I first met Abdullah, to see him was in North Carolina when I did that thing with Magnum TA. And he was there. That was my first time ever just meeting him. And Abdullah told me, he said, look, what I want you to do for me, champ, when you go to Japan, is take some cigars over there and give them to Barber. Give them to Barber for me. He kissing ass then to get back in. His big funk ass had been fired from over there. And anyway, I told him, I said, Abdullah, you give me the cigars first. No, you take them by me. When I see you again, I'll give you them. I was like, ain't find no fucking cigar for no goddamn body. And I didn't either. I didn't buy the cigar. And I went on to Japan, but it wasn't long after that he was back in there. The mafia brought him back.
Really?
Yeah, the mafia brought him back. And I remember this one time in Japan, they had asked me about doing a job for Johnny Ace, who works for Vince now.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, Johnny, I said, nothing against you, but I ain't doing a job for these goddamn Japs. I said, hell, they done promised me this and promised me that, and then they ain't fulfilling it. I'm just not doing it. I said, but nothing against you. He said, well, I understand. You take care of yourself. So it was me, Ben Peacock, and Abdullah sitting in, us three blacks sitting in one dressing room together. We were the only one in there.
Well, you made it over there with Abdullah eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, But he didn't book me there, though. I wouldn't have went if he had booked me. So we sitting there together, three black guys. So Abdullah, when I told the referee that I wasn't doing the job, and I told Johnny that I wasn't doing it, Abdullah got scared. I hadn't thought of nothing like this. Abdullah said, when everybody left out, he said, look, Kamala, now they gonna think I told you not to do the job. I said, how they gonna think you that you told me that? I'm my own man. But they gonna think us three black guys sitting around, and they gonna think I told you to do it. Look, when the referee come back over here, he was begging me. Abdullah was begging me. Yeah, your big funk ass begged me. Please, Kamala. When the referee come back, me and Ben we gonna act like we trying to get you to do the job. And then you said, no, you ain't gonna do it. So they came back, and they said, Barber said, please do the job for Johnny Ace. I said, nope, I ain't doing it. And they Abdullah and them, Kamala, go on and do the job for it. It ain't gonna hurt you. Go on and do the job. I said, fuck you too.
Again, you can enjoy the entire 3-hour Kamala Studio Shoot interview DVD and dozens more streaming on our Patreon right now. For only $6, help keep wrestling legends working while enjoying hundreds of hours of content. You can find the link below, fans. We bring you a lot of content for free. We could really use your help on this one. Don't forget that Mr. USA Tony Atlas remains available for personal appearances, custom artwork, even personal phone calls. Who needs a 30-second cameo video when you can have a person-to-person conversation with Tony you'll remember for a lifetime? Again, the link's below. Hope you enjoyed this interview with Kamala, fans. Please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you more great wrestling content. We'll be back next week with another Flashback Friday. Until we speak again, you and yours be well. Please stay healthy.
They're ready to take their rightful place amongst the literary greats. Who you you ask?
The New Day!
That's who. It's the Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. It's the feel-good story of the rise of the New Day. Loaded with games, trivia, coloring pages, and so much more. The Book of Booty. Shake it, love it, never be it. Available now online or wherever books are sold.